Feeling lost, don't know the purpose, feeling like there's no way out, feeling that you just simply need to change something, feeling that you're not certain about the directions that where you're going towards, feeling that you are just simply lost, brother. And so, if you like to, that's me, that's freaking me many times. And so I would like to break you down the exact analogy how you are getting lost and why does that whole thing happen and how can you go against that. So hear me out. Today morning I woke up with I just got back to my city, after staying home for a while. I just really wanted to reconnect with myself, just to reconnect with my younger self, the things that are inside of me. And so what I found over there is that the child who I was once is gone. It's completely gone. So what I decided is to come back and build the man who am I becoming. But the point over here being is that today morning I woke up I'm feeling kind of lost. Yesterday I got some love letters from the government with some due payments and some bullshit, above that. I was, a bit tired, these days. I've been working out quite strong, quite hard. I've been taking a toll on me and so on and so forth. And so I just woke and yesterday I just felt weak. And I'll be honest with you, because this is the whole purpose of this channel, for me to be transparent and share this whole journey with you of self-improvement, no-fap, semen retention, so on and so forth. And so what have happened is that I was like, I'm just feeling weak. Let me just watch some content, let me just look for some ideas out there. Yeah, also, not to mention one of my clients who's supposed to be, whom I've been relying to on this month, would be relying to on this month to make some further investment into my business with that excess cash, resign the contract and so on and so forth. So all the BS just simply added up. The point over here being is that I just started to look at directions, like what kind of business to start. And I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and I just got many ideas, to go out there and get a job. The point is not over here that which are the good or the bad ideas over here, because those are all subjective, completely suited to your individual situation. But the point over here is that I just put too much inside of my mind. I just got too many information, unprocessed, unmade decisions. And so now that you understand the context, let me break you down the whole system, how this whole thing works. So the point over here is that the whole thing begins from us not being grounded, not being 120% decisive upon the journey and upon not necessarily the journey, but the end destination that we've been setting to ourselves. So for example, brother, I'll be building up an agency which will have 50 clients and will have the best fucking service out there in that niche. And we'll be generating revenue of $100,000 retainers every single god-given month. This is one goal, for example. And so the problem is that since we are ungrounded, we are facing the very first difficulties, and we are facing difficulties along the way, and we are perceiving those difficulties that, hey man, this is an evidence that this whole thing doesn't work. This is an evidence that I'm supposed to be quitting. This is an evidence that shit is going wrong, so on and so forth. And so the point over here being is that you're perceiving all these signs of failure as evidence for you to eventually change the course. And so now that you're getting to that position, you're just simply allowing yourself to be weak in your mind and say that, hey man, I'd be just simply changing up the directions. I'd be just simply getting to this place, then I'd be just simply looking for other places. So for example, my individual situation over here is that I got a business which is generating about 4 or 5 clients a month, one-time sales, and the point over here is that if I'm not fucking up, which I do many times because I'm still considerably in the beginning of this whole journey, I'm making a nice amount of money. I mean, like 3-4 times as the most qualified person who I know in my age who went to work in a job. But the point over here is not the fucking money, brother. The point over here is that I decided to bitch around this whole thing because obviously my expectations were not met for this month. And I was like, man, like this business doesn't work. Let me just find something completely different. This business doesn't work. Let me find something that is completely different. There's a new opportunity and so on and so forth. And so this happens, brothers, because our mind is weak. We are weak. And this is the whole shit, brother, because we can do whatever the fuck we want to do, brother. But we'll have to decide what the freaking hell that whole thing is. And this is one of the greatest lessons for me in 2022, last year, that I can do whatever the fuck I want because I'm young and I'm like, whatever the fuck I want. But maybe I will not become an all-star basketball player or something like that. But I mean, like business-wise and career-wise, you know, like which doesn't require like extreme talent. And so, but the price over there is that I can become anything, but not everything. And so the point over here is that if I'm setting that thing, and if shit goes wrong, I will still have to figure out, you know, how to stick with those things. How to stick with those things. So for example, if you're having a relationship and shit is going wrong with your girlfriend, and you're like, man, let's take a week, let's take a break because something is not good. I have to figure the shit out in myself. And you're just taking a break, and you just start looking for other women. It's like you do not really want that relationship in the very beginning. You just simply do not want that relationship. And so what I wanted to bring up over here is the core principle of when we are weak, we just simply got the tendency to get into this position of, hey man, like, let's just look for something else. This whole thing doesn't work, and so on and so forth. So one huge lesson for me over here is that the thing works. And I'm not telling to you that, hey man, like you're supposed to be pursuing the shit that you've been pursuing, because perhaps you got some reasons why you have these resentment feelings towards that very thing. So for example, with your girlfriend, like after a week, it doesn't mean that you'll have to marry. You know, it's like maybe it means that you'll have to change. But the whole point over here is that don't make these things for the wrong reasons. And I'm first and foremost trying to extract the lessons for myself so that I can share it on this channel. Is that, man, extract it. You do not want to do this because of the city you're living in, because of the work environment, because you do not like your role, because you're not making enough money, because your social needs are not met. What is the point? What is the purpose, bro? Like, what is the point over here? What is the thing? And so, what I'm getting to realize is that I just simply have to break down all those things. It's not like, hey man, like this shit doesn't work. It's like, what does that mean? Because it has like 20 aspects, maybe 100. And so, don't just be like, hey man, like this whole thing doesn't work. It's like, figure out the thing that doesn't work and make decisions based upon that. So this is basically the core idea. And so, when we are weak and when we are feeling lost, it's happening because we just simply get something bad shit happening with us, and we just start looking for the solution outside of ourselves immediately to ease away that pain, instead of getting inside ourselves and meditating upon the actual thing that is happening. So what is the actual problem over there? And so this is what I'm finding myself in, and this is natural human reaction. And so the actual problem with getting out there and, you know, like seeking advice all the time for this whole thing, I mean, not like technical. So for example, if you have a technical issue, like fuck yes, man, like fuck yes, like obviously you for example, you do not know how to run Facebook ads. It's like you don't have to meditate on it, you have to fucking learn that thing. So there are different things over here, but the point is that regarding to decision making, regarding to your own situations, perhaps, at least this is my personal experience throughout this journey, is that I've never been able to find that thing aside where I've been looking for in like other people. The solution all the time came when I've been at a situation of having the mental clarity and the calmness and the silence inside, so that I can say, hey man, like, this is the shit that does work, this is the shit that doesn't work, this is what I want to go through, and that's it. So instead of putting more and more things inside of yourself, which will generate for you more and more unmade decisions, it's like, hey man, like, this person suggested me to get a job, the other person suggested me to start another business, this person told me this, that person told me that. I'm suggesting that you do not have a mentor, because if you do, then chances are high that you can listen to him or her. So this is how the whole analogy works. So basically, we just simply start to put on more and more chaos, and so basically by the end of that thing, we just simply have more and more unmade decisions. So this is how this whole thing works. And I'm not saying that this is wrong, because this might be the thing that you need, like complete blow the fuck up your whole life and just change everything. Maybe, who the hell am I to know these things? But what I'm telling to you is that if you would like to ease away the anxiety, the feeling of being lost, stick with something, brother. Like, stick with that shit, no matter what, because everything works, everything will work. The price will be for you to pay that, the price will be to do that for a long enough period of time. That will be the price. And perhaps most importantly, to sacrifice everything else, to become the best at that thing. So this is the whole idea over here. And if you do not want to be lost, just commit to that thing, no matter what. That's it. This is the secret. And this is a method that works all the fucking time, brother. So this is something that I wanted to share with you, and the whole knowledge of how this whole thing works. So this is all the time when you're feeling anxious, when we are feeling anxious, this is my experience. When we are feeling anxious and we are feeling like, hey man, like, this thing is not good, something's not right, it is all unmade fucking decisions in the background. So just bring that thing up as soon as possible and make the decisions. Make the decisions so you can proceed forward, you can move forward in life faster. The faster the decisions you're making, and the best. You just basically learn how to make decisions, whether you believe it or not. Like, this whole entrepreneurial journey for me was like such a huge blessing, because I've been I just started to learn how to make decisions, you know, like consciously and not just emotionally, like rushing, like, hey man, like, I don't give a shit, like, I'll be becoming a millionaire in 20 days or in 3 months, or I'll be quitting, you know, like, I'll be jumping out from the bridge, or some bullshit, like some childish infantile BS. So yes, brother, this is the thing that I wanted to talk to you over here, because this is something that we overlook many times, and this is especially for the younger brothers over there. And man, another thing, be okay with that shit, because that's a natural process. If you're not feeling overwhelmed and frustrated and all that shit, it means that you're comfortable, and that if you're comfortable, you're not growing. So feeling that way is good. And again, long story short, antidote is to stick with something and sacrifice everything else. The actual mechanism is unmade decisions behind. And third, who the fuck I am to tell you that you do not need a complete blow the fuck everything up and, you know, like, complete chaos and watch all the videos and read all the books. Fuck knows. And this is the third point, which is perhaps the most important. You're the fucking one in control, so do whatever the fuck you need to do, brother. And that's you who will know that. Love.